Hey everyone, this is Jacob with Look Behind You. I'm joined by Jordan
Hello.
and Terry.
Hello.
That was a very somber opening for
Well, this is
kind
a
of
very
telltale.
somber episode. So we have a announcement to make, and you guys will figure it out probably by the title and the length of the clip. I don't know if you've noticed, but for the past couple months,
Our publishing episodes has kind of been weird.
been weird. And if you can't tell by last week's episode, we just kind of I'm not gonna say we, I'm gonna say I
Yeah.
just couldn't record the episode because I couldn't get enough research done and I couldn't get enough I couldn't produce enough material for the podcast. Like Jordan and Terry did have enough, but I can't expect them to.
I didn't really have much then.
All right. Well,
Terry had
anyways,
it all.
Yeah. At the time, I couldn't expect them just to carry me throughout the show. And I don't know if people have noticed lately, but for the last couple big topics we've talked about, like that's what kind of happened is Terry and Jordan have basically carried me through the show.
At one point, one of us was carrying the other two or other one throughout the whole episode.
Yeah.
It's been kind of like that for a long while now.
Yeah. So we have decided, not just because of that reason, but a myriad of other ones, and we'll go over those in just a second to explain our reasoning. But we've decided that we are going to quit the podcast. We're going to be done. We're going to leave up all the episodes, so if you want to go back and listen to them, you can. But for now, until we figure out something else that we want to do, if we even want to do something else, we're just going to be kind of done with Look Behind You.
Yeah.
Because main reason is, like I said before, I don't personally have the time.
Yeah.
I am the main producer of Look Behind You. I'm the one that came up with the idea of podcasting in general.
You're not even just the main producer for Look Behind You, but you're also the main producer for Baka Talk.
Yeah.
And have like a full-time job and more.
Yeah. So I basically work 3 full-time jobs. So like my schedule looks like I'm doing
Work.
close to like 90 hours of work.
If
a week.
only that.
Yeah.
I don't know how many hours in a week are there. A lot, and you're doing a lot.
Well, let's put it this way. He works a full-time job, overtime, and then on top of that, on Wednesdays, he records, edits throughout the week. Then every other Saturday records, edits throughout the rest of that, and it's just...
Also works an off and on job on
Yeah,
Saturdays.
it works an off and on job on Saturdays that is actually very labor demanding, which
We can say I'm a full construction contractor on the weekends, and then
you're a maintenance man.
I'm a maintenance person during the week, which is also physically taxing, and then
you just there's no time to
there's
do
just
that.
no
So-
time anymore.
And us all being friends, we don't want to put a lot of extra work on him doing all of that for just our podcast.
Yeah. Also,
That's only one of the reasons.
that's the main reasons. I just don't have the time anymore.
Yeah, one of the main reasons.
Next reason is
Kind of burnout, right?
burnout, and that's because I just don't have the time to do anything anymore.
The burnout's kind of for everybody here.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel the same way because it's like at my job. Well, I mean, you work with me. I switched positions, and now it's like it's way more demanding than before. So it's like I'm burnout
Yeah.
half the time. So
That, and even trying to do research for certain episodes, like looking up a creature or an alien attack, or not attack, but encounter.
Yeah.
Aliens haven't attacked yet that we know of.
If they do attack, we will make an episode.
We will
about
make a
it.
special report episode.
It will be in our undisclosed bunker location, but it will happen.
If
Yeah.
anybody knows where an undisclosed bunker is, please contact us before we like forget about all of this.
But that is kind of a thing. The episode before this, we did talk about it. Information, well, it's there.
It's-
We've never been the ones who want to dramatize stuff.
No.
And honestly, it's like in the last few years with the internet basically getting mopped constantly,
Yeah.
Mhm.
all the stuff that used to be there that you could find about things was basically genocided in a big, well, no way to
Yeah.
put it around it, but big political thing.
And you
Everything's
can-
been not popularized, but
Populated.
Yeah.
populated with material.
And that kind of goes back to the first point again. Is like you can find that stuff still.
You can.
It takes a lot of digging. It takes reading actual physical books,
Yep.
which I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but when
Books
you
are hard to read, though.
they take time.
and time.
That's
And
the
you have
biggest
to
thing.
collect them if you don't have them.
Yep.
Also,
Or you have to dish out the money for it too.
also like I'm dyslexic.
Yeah, so it's like that
It
adds a layer of
takes me
difficulty.
the average person that can read a book in a certain amount of time. It takes me double that.
Yeah.
So it's like there's barriers which normally I would be willing to
Jump
overcome,
over.
but it's like this podcast has been going for a year,
Mhm.
and we appreciate everybody that's
We
helped
really
us
appreciate.
and watched constantly. We have like a very small group of people that listen to every episode, which is awesome. We appreciate you guys, and we are sad that we can't produce more content for you.
Yeah, I'll definitely miss doing this.
But even if you are doing a podcast as even just a hobby,
Mhm.
numbers still count. I don't care what people say,
Yeah,
but numbers still count. And if you don't see growth, it's cool that you have a small, like, dedicated following, but it's also hard to
justify.
justify it without
Yeah,
anything else happening.
unless if you're doing it for like a just pure through and through hobby, you have extra time.
Yeah.
Double extra time, and you're like, what am I gonna do with this? Oh, I'll throw something onto the internet that maybe someone will.
Yeah, and
I
that's-
don't care.
That's what a hobby is, but like this quickly turned from a hobby to another
Ex-
full-time job,
Expiring
Yeah.
a full-time job.
which and this full-time job doesn't make money. So it's like I have
It
to
doesn't.
cut the things
Something.
that don't make money, so that way I have time to actually make money and also just relax too.
Especially with nowadays.
Yeah. Third thing is that we've already kind of touched on it. I don't know if we already said this actually.
You kind of touched on it, like why a little bit on
Yeah.
why you wanted to stop, but me or Terry didn't really throw anything in about like the difference in how we were wanting it to turn out.
Yeah. Biggest thing is we felt like we were running out of material. I know there's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff, but we don't have the time to research it. And a lot of times we don't have access to the ways to research it either.
Yeah.
Without making like full custom-ish stories and reading it and kind of dramatizing it, it's hard to fill out a full-length hour podcast
Yeah.
with like let's just throw out what we were going to do with the Skunk Ape.
Yeah.
It's so something like that is so region locked, and it's just small to where it is that it's hard to get enough to fill up a full hour with actually interesting new things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And-
that's kind of that thing where we ended up changing format from full episode to
Half episode.
half episodes, where the other half was just basically babble, because it really is. It's something you cram into like a 10-15 minute space
Yeah.
and you're done.
Yeah. And we've considered shortening the episodes too, but it's like
It didn't feel right.
not only did it feel right, but when you look at the time it takes to process it, like,
Mhm.
yeah, shortening it up would technically shave off a little bit of time for me, but it still doesn't make it worth it.
No.
Um,
It's not rewarding doing it shorter like that.
yeah. But yeah, so I feel like that's about it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of it.
Just it all sums up to me not having time, and me being the one that runs the show.
And just kind of expectations we had
Yeah.
that we ourselves kind of didn't meet
Yep.
too.
It's like if you're not it's kind of like if you're doing at least we've all been raised this way. Not everybody in the world is this way, but we've all been raised. If you don't do something up to the expectations that you've put up to it, and you
Mhm.
can't get to that point, and you physically can't, then it's
You got to step back and take a new look on it.
yeah,
At
see what
very
you're doing wrong.
least.
Reassess.
And
what
sometimes you
you're
just
doing.
have to stop doing it. There's
Mhm.
only so many times you can walk into a brick wall before you
You
either
die.
pass out because of blood loss or you just die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what a little bit of this feels like, is just repeating the same thing.
Yeah, because this isn't the first time that we've had thoughts of quitting the podcast. At least me personally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been the one that's been trying to stick out to keep it going as long as possible, because
Yeah.
I really enjoyed doing this. It gave me an actually good reason on to do my own research and actually dive into these cryptid and supernatural type stuff even more than I already did.
Yeah,
But I can continue doing that without having this outlet to talk about it.
right. But yeah, besides for that, do you guys have anything you guys want to say?
Oh, just thanks to the
Yep.
listeners that we had, and
Yeah.
appreciate you guys. And I guess keep an ear out or eye out for any projects we might do in the future. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
For
sure
sure.
one of these nights we'll get like bored and be like, hey, let's do this random thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just because we're ending Look Behind You doesn't mean we're not going to come back at a later date and try something different.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this isn't a
This isn't
it-
the end of us doing something like
yeah.
this.
It's one of those things we thought that it was gonna be different, and
Yeah.
you know, it just like you said, didn't meet quite what we expected. So
We've also learned a lot out of doing this on like what we like doing in general.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, we've also gained a lot of good skills too. Like
Mhm.
if you look at
I can read out loud.
yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
yep.
I learned how to speak better too.
Yep.
Well, shouldn't be saying but
Oh.
this is very unscripted as well.
It's very,
Yeah.
very unscripted. Also, all of our stuff was really just unscripted.
Yeah, but we also had resources to
Yeah.
look at, so that's makes it easier to speak properly. But yeah,
But it's also harder to record and
yeah,
just that.
So yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, the stuff will still be there.
Sorry to the people that really liked this podcast.
yeah. I'm sorry for that too.
I
Yeah,
know at
but-
least one person that might that we know that might get mad at us.
Yeah, I kind of know maybe two, but it's also we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, we gotta do what
Yeah.
we gotta do.
And it's like, hey,
Well, it's kind of like this for you. I mean, well, all of us. It's this too. We have to set life priorities first.
Mhm.
yeah,
Because, you know, if we don't have those kind of things in place first, then time and effort and stuff cannot be put onto things like this if, you know, just everything in life isn't stable.
yeah,
Mhm.
So, you know,
Yep.
it's just kind of that thing. It's just time, you know, time.
It's just
And-
time.
Really, actually, right now, it's just, quite frankly, too, just kind of the time we live in.
Mhm.
yeah,
We all got to bust our butts as much as we can
Yeah.
to kind of scrape by and survive.
Yep.
So,
that's for sure.
I'm sure everyone can understand that because that's a global thing right
Yeah.
now.
That, and to go a little bit away from like the global thing, just in cryptid and supernatural areas, it's been so kind of debunked, a lot of it, that you're either skirting the line on like trying not to say, oh, they just kind of debunked this, but you still want to tell the story without making it sound like you're ragging on it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
at that point, it's like half the time too.
It
I don't
doesn't
know.
feel genuine.
For me, if something's been debunked, it loses the excitement
It
of
does.
the story.
Yep.
It really
Well,
does.
We've always said from the very first episode we did not want to become a podcast that just talked about true crime
No.
Right.
because true crime is really not paranormal.
No. And
And-
honestly, it's just, I don't know about for you, but for me, it's very depressing.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
I can't really expose
Part of
myself
the
to
reason
much
why
of that.
I do like paranormal stuff is because it's kind of like a fantasy book. It's
Yeah.
like, this could be real. It could be happening. The
Yeah.
Dogman, the Wendigo, the New Jersey Devil, Thunderbird, they could
New Jersey.
they
Devil.
could have existed or they do exist.
Yeah. Or something to spark the
Yeah.
legend of something.
And it's just when you're constantly seeing other facts and you don't want to be the person that's just gonna skirt around the idea. So yeah, if you don't want to be the person that's gonna dramatize it or just skirt around the fact that it has been debunked, then it's kind of hard to have integrity
Mhm.
and also do what we think is proper talking about in paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because with this, I mean, we all wanted to be like bringing the stuff that we thought was the best. Like there was a lot of times with some of those legends and stuff where it's like we would sift through so many versions of things to try to find like the things that actually matched up with each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just for the listeners, so it's like that way we were trying to give I guess a straight story
Yep.
Yeah.
without any fluff
Yep.
to it.
We didn't want to sugar it down, but we also wanted to make it have enough content and good content enough to be worth a while to listen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, we could still do that, but it's just we don't.
We don't got the time or capability, really.
Yep. So yeah, instead of just keep on saying that we don't got the time,
We don't got the time, mate.
we won't waste your guys' time anymore
That
with
was a
telling you that.
Yeah, that was a horrible Australian accent,
What,
mate.
mate?
I can't do accents.
Okay.
Well, you'll no
Cheers.
longer have to suffer his ass.
Yes, you don't have to suffer through me speaking and going all ADHD and just like making weird noises or falling out my chair if that was still in the episode from last week.
Man, I laughed. I had to keep it in.
Oh, it was
It was great.
hilarious. I'll miss stuff like that.
Well, I guess since you will be the constant still,
Yeah,
where
you'll
can I find you, Jake?
Yeah. I will still be doing my main pod. I guess it's now my main podcast.
It's always been your main podcast.
Yeah,
you do it every
it-
week.
It was the one that we did every week, and so I will be doing Baka Talk still. I know probably most of everybody that listens to this is not into anime and stuff, but
You'll be surprised.
I mean, we
And-
do have some entertaining stuff. It's more of like a daily or a weekly talk show about culture, and
Mhm.
it's mainly about anime, but we just kind of joke around and have fun.
And anyways, they'll still be able to hear your lovely voice over there.
I don't think I have a lovely voice, but
No,
okay.
that's for them to decide.
Yeah, you have no say in it.
That's
Yeah.
true. But yeah, you can also find me on Twitter at SirBoom9. I will keep the Look Behind You Twitter open for at least the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Just in case we, I don't know, pop up with a new project or something, so we
Yeah.
can kind of tell
Send
you guys
you over
what's
to
going on.
that.
Yep. But yeah, besides for that, I know Terry has. You can find him on Twitter at
At Ramen.
Eldritch Games.
Nope, Eldritch Quill Arts, or you can also find me at RamenCat13
Okay, so you do have
on
both of
Twitter.
those up.
Yeah, one's personal at this point, and one is
What?
it's the art page. I'm just waiting to get my studio set up. So
Yep, that's kind of what my two Twitters are: the Baka Talk Studios one and just my SirBoom9. So,
Yep.
but yeah, and then Jordan will disappear from the internet.
Goodbye,
forever.
everybody. Unless somehow you find me on the PlayStation.
That's true.
If you do, I'll be surprised.
But yeah, I'm gonna try convincing him to be on Baka Talk. So at least once or
It's
twice.
going to be a hard.
Well,
I'll definitely be on there for at least shows that I've seen.
all right.
Or
Well, no,
if
we're
you-
not gonna have you talk about something you haven't seen. Gee.
Or
Oh, sure.
like if you do something on a video game or something like that.
Okay.
So
So you guys can probably listen to them.
I'll also
hopefully.
probably just mug Pyrolis at random at one point or something. So
But yeah,
Bit of that.
I think that covers everything that we're feeling and what the place this podcast was at.
yep, and also to just I guess is like a final thing with that is really with when you're trying to do something creative, which, with research and stuff, we're still trying to be creative with stuff. If you don't feel that inspiration, then you're not making something, well, like you said, to the standards that,
Yes.
Mhm.
that
Yep.
you're setting. And eventually that affects the listeners too.
Yep.
So
It does.
Well, as somebody that in the last couple of years has become a content creator on the internet,
How's that been?
Interesting, very interesting. But I did want to give a word of advice to people. If you think you might enjoy it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how you start off. I don't care if you start off with a phone and you're just talking to a phone to create a podcast, or you're videotaping yourself with your iPhone or your Android phone, whatever, to put on YouTube. Try it. See if you like it. Because for years, ever since I was a teenager, I'd always wanted to put stuff on the internet and never had the courage to do it until I started Pocket Talk. And then I found out I really like talking. I like doing podcasts, and I like talking to my friends, and I like talking out into the void of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So never be afraid to try something, and also never be afraid to realize that you no longer have a love for it as well.
Yes.
And if you don't enjoy it and you don't think you're making a good product, I mean, try to change it, mold it into something slightly different, see if you like
Take
it.
a step back, look at it as a whole, where it started, where it's at, what you originally wanted it to be,
Yep.
and what you can do with it now, if you even want to continue with it.
Yep.
That's what we had to do.
And remember that content creation is the most selfless / selfish thing you can do, because it's selfless that you're giving content to people on the internet for free, basically. Unless you're doing, I don't know, OnlyFans or some crap like that. And also, it's very
Self-centered.
self-centered, because the only reason you're talking into a mic is because you enjoy talking into a mic.
Yeah.
If you did not, that means you're probably being held at gunpoint.
And you need help.
You needed help. So, but yeah, just word of advice. If you want to try it, try it. And then also remember, it's good that you can switch to other things, and you can also just stop whenever you want.
Yeah. We live in an age where it's so easy to try to start a media channel like on YouTube or a podcast. Like, to start a podcast is extremely easy now.
It's free.
It's free.
Everybody has a phone. You can record on your phone, and yeah, I mean, that's our sponsor. That's been our sponsor since we started.
Yeah,
the
Anchor.
podcast platform that we've had, it was Anchor.
Yep.
They are literally the easiest way to start a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every pre-recorded ad has said that. We've said that, and it's true. It is easiest. I made 2 podcast accounts within minutes. It's as easy as starting a Google account. You're up and running, and all you have to do is import an MP3, or you don't have to import it because they have a recording app on the app itself. You start it, you talk, you're done, you put it onto the internet.
Yep. Just don't be afraid to start it.
Anyways, I don't know. Maybe that was a good word of advice. People have probably stopped listening.
No, they're still listening.
You think?
Yeah, it's the way we're talking. Whenever you talk somber like this, it really catches them and pulls them in till the very last word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Okay, before Jordan makes a snack of people by baiting them in.
Are we wrapping it up now?
Sure, sounds good. Well, this is the last goodbye from Look Behind You. We will not see you all later. You guys
might.
should have a good time for the rest of your life. Not until the next episode, but for the rest of your life.
Yep.
And remember, look behind you, because, well,
You'll never know when something new comes up.
that's true. Always find a new, better podcast.
Yep.
All right.
Enjoy the song, hopefully.
Yes, I will put the full
Thank
opening
you.
song just for Jordan, because he wants to listen to it.
I love the theme.
Do you listen to the whole song?
No, I haven't. This will
Alright.
probably be the first episode of ours that I listen to. And only one just for the last bit.
All right. Well, why don't you guys say your goodbyes?
See ya.
See you, everybody.
All right. Have a good night. Bye.